Awaken your spirit, chosen ones. The universe whispers to those it chooses, but it shouts to those who refuse to listen. If you've stumbled across this video, let me tell you something chillingly true. It's not by accident. Research suggests that only 1% of people in the world are truly wired to defy the odds, to break the mold, to fight battles others would never dare to face. And guess what? If you're still here, staring at this screen, you're likely one of them. But here's the catch. Being chosen isn't cute. It's messy, brutal, and often feels like God signed you up for an extreme survival show without asking for your consent. You don't just fight for a win, you fight until your soul becomes unshakable, your purpose undeniable, and your impact eternal. So buckle up, because today, we're diving into why you were chosen, what you're supposed to be fighting for, and how to keep going when the universe feels like it's testing your patience and your Wi-Fi connection. Ready? Let's get real. Number 1. You were designed to break systems, not follow them. The truth is, you were never meant to fit in. That feeling you've had all your life, that sense that you don't belong, that the world around you doesn't make sense to your soul, wasn't a mistake. It's because you weren't designed to blend into systems that already exist. You were born to break them. The rules, the expectations, the routines everyone else seems to follow without question. They weren't made for you, and deep down you know it. This world loves comfort zones and conformity. People cling to what's familiar even when it's broken, but you're wired differently. You see cracks in the foundation that others ignore. You hear the lies in the narratives society tries to sell. You feel the weight of a system that was never built for true growth, fairness, or freedom. That discomfort you've felt your whole life isn't a burden, it's your compass. It's the evidence that you're meant to disrupt, challenge, and rebuild. You may have been called stubborn, rebellious, or even a troublemaker. Let them talk. The very traits they criticize are the ones that make you unstoppable. Systems hate people like you because you're the reminder that they're flawed. But here's the twist. Being chosen to break systems isn't glamorous, it's lonely, it's exhausting, and sometimes it feels like a curse. But it's not, it's a calling. Your life will always be different because you're not meant to follow the path, you're meant to create one. So when the world tries to box you in, when people say, "Why can't you just settle down?" remember this. You're not here to settle. You're here to shatter what's holding others back and build something extraordinary in its place. Keep going. The systems don't stand a chance. Number 2, your struggles are blueprints, not punishments. Your struggles are not random, and they're definitely not punishments. Every challenge you face, every heartbreak, every setback has been meticulously placed in your path for a reason. They're blueprints, divine instructions written in pain, failure, and frustration. They're not there to crush you. They're there to carve you into the person you're meant to become. But here's the hard truth. You can't skip the struggle. You can't outsmart it or pray it away. The only way out is through. Life doesn't waste battles on people who have nothing to fight for. You're being tested, not because you're weak, but because your purpose requires a level of strength and resilience that only struggle can teach. Without the storms, you wouldn't know how to navigate. Without the fire, you wouldn't know how to endure. Every trial is teaching you something you'll need for the mission ahead. So while others might see your life and think, "Why does it seem harder for them?" understand this. Your struggles are proof that you've been called to something greater. And here's what most people won't tell you. Your struggles are your secret weapon. The things you've survived, the lessons you've learned the hard way, will one day be the very tools you use to lead, inspire, and change lives. They are blueprints that God is using to show you the way forward, not just for yourself, but for everyone you're meant to impact. So when life feels unbearable, when you're tempted to believe you've been abandoned, remind yourself, the struggle is not the end, it's preparation. You're being shaped, refined, and equipped for something far beyond what you can see right now. Trust the process, even when it hurts. Your struggles are not wasted, they're building you. Number 3, rejection is protection for the chosen. Rejection isn't what it looks like. It feels cruel, like a slap in the face, like the world is shutting doors just to watch you struggle. But here's the truth. Rejection is one of God's most underrated forms of protection. You didn't lose that job, that relationship, or that opportunity because you weren't good enough. You lost it because it wasn't good enough for the person you're becoming. The world is full of traps disguised as blessings. Not every door that opens leads to something better, and not every person who smiles at you has your best interests at heart. When you're chosen, God sees the full picture, not just the pieces you're clinging to. What feels like a closed door is often a redirection away from disaster. That rejection saved you from heartbreak, wasted time, or a situation that would have robbed you of your purpose. But let's be real. Rejection hurts. It stings in places you didn't even know existed. It's lonely, humiliating, and can make you question your worth. But don't let it. Rejection is proof that you're being set apart. It's God's way of filtering your life so that only what aligns with your calling gets through. That's why people who don't understand your vision fall away. That's why opportunities that once felt perfect suddenly slip out of reach. Rejection doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're being preserved for something better, something stronger, something that aligns with who you're meant to be. So when it happens, and it will, don't let it break you. Instead, ask yourself, what is God protecting me from? Because the answer is always bigger than the pain. You're not being rejected, you're being refined. Number 4. You are a light that darkness will always attack. The attacks you face aren't random. They're not because you're unlucky or unworthy. The reason you feel like life has targeted you is simple. You carry something so powerful, so transformative, that darkness can't afford to let you fully realize it. The weight you feel? That's the resistance of a world that senses your potential and is terrified of what happens when you step into it. You are a light, a force capable of breaking cycles, healing wounds, and inspiring change. And light, by its very nature, attracts darkness. Think about it. Darkness doesn't bother with people who pose no threat. It doesn't waste energy on those who are content to stay in the shadows. But you shine too brightly. You're a disruptor of the status quo, a threat to everything that thrives in ignorance and fear. And that's why you feel under siege. Every attack you face, whether it's doubt, failure, betrayal, or fear, is an attempt to dim your light. The enemy doesn't want you to see the truth, that the very battles you're fighting are proof of your power. If you weren't a threat, the attacks wouldn't come. If your life didn't matter, darkness wouldn't bother. But here's what darkness forgets. The harder it pushes, the brighter your light becomes. Struggles don't diminish you, they refine you. Each time you fight back, each time you refuse to give in, you grow stronger, your light grows brighter. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember this. You're not being attacked because you're weak. You're being attacked because you're unstoppable. And every battle you win is another step closer to fulfilling the purpose that darkness fears the most. Keep shining. The light always wins. Number 5. Comfort zones are a death sentence for the chosen. Comfort zones may feel safe, but for the chosen, they're a trap. You weren't made for ordinary. You weren't designed to coast through life without friction. The moment you settle into a routine or cling to what feels familiar, you start losing the fire that makes you different. Comfort doesn't build you, it breaks you. It dulls your edge, blinds you to your potential, and robs you of the growth you need to survive your calling. Unlike others, you don't have the luxury of staying stagnant. While some people can live their entire lives in a bubble of routine, you weren't wired for that. Comfort zones lull you into believing that where you are is good enough, but deep down, you know it's a lie. That restless feeling you get when you stay in one place too long, that's your spirit screaming for movement, for change, for challenge. Growth for you isn't a nice to have, it's non-negotiable. Every step forward, every risk, and every uncomfortable moment is preparing you for what's next. Comfort zones don't prepare you, they suffocate you. They keep you from sharpening your skills, from testing your limits, and from walking fully in your purpose. And yes, stepping out is scary. It's messy and unpredictable. But the alternative? Staying stuck in a life that doesn't align with the person you were created to be. For the chosen, staying in a comfort zone isn't just stagnation, it's the slow death of everything you're capable of becoming. So don't get comfortable. Don't settle for what's easy. Keep pushing, keep stretching, and keep growing. The edge God gave you is what sets you apart, and it's what will lead you to the extraordinary life you're meant to live. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Don't let it win. Number 6, you will be misunderstood, and that's part of the calling. Being misunderstood is one of the hardest parts of being chosen. You'll pour your heart out, try to explain your vision, or share your dreams, and people will look at you like you're speaking another language. They'll doubt you, criticize you, and sometimes even walk away. And no matter how much it hurts, you have to understand this. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's something extraordinary about you that they can't grasp. The calling on your life comes with a perspective that isn't meant for everyone. You see things differently. You feel things more deeply. You hear whispers in your soul that others can't. And because of that, you'll always stand out. You weren't designed to blend in or be universally understood. Being chosen means walking a path that most people won't recognize or appreciate until much later, if ever. It's time to stop waiting for validation from people who were never meant to see what you see. Your calling didn't come with a crowd of cheerleaders, it came with divine purpose. And that purpose often isolates you because understanding it requires the same higher perspective that sent you. That's why people label you as different. That's why you feel like an outsider. But that difference isn't a flaw, it's your strength. Embrace being misunderstood. It's proof that you're moving in alignment with something bigger than the opinions of others. The ones who don't get it now might never get it, and that's okay. Your job isn't to convince anyone. Your job is to keep going even when the world shakes its head. Being chosen isn't about fitting in. It's about standing firm in your calling, even when no one else understands. Number 7, your fight isn't for you, it's for generations. Your fight is so much bigger than you. The battles you're facing right now, the ones that drain your energy, test your patience, and make you question if it's even worth it, aren't just about your life. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, is shifting the future for people you may never even meet. The fight you're in isn't just for survival, it's for transformation. You're breaking chains that have held generations back. Whether it's cycles of poverty, trauma, fear, or doubt, you're dismantling things that your ancestors didn't have the tools, strength, or opportunity to confront. The weight you feel, that's the weight of history, and you were chosen to carry it because you have what it takes to end it. And it doesn't stop there. Your fight ripples outward. It impacts your bloodline, your community, and even strangers who will never know your name. The strength you build now creates a foundation for others to stand on. The courage you show inspires people watching from the sidelines. The walls you tear down pave the way for someone else's breakthrough. This is about legacy. It's about ensuring that the ones who come after you don't have to fight the same battles you're facing now. It's about altering the trajectory of lives so that others can walk paths filled with freedom, hope, and possibility. So when you feel exhausted, when the fight feels endless, remember this: it's not just about you. Every victory you claim echoes into the future. You're not just changing your life, you're reshaping the course of generations to come. Your fight matters on a level that goes beyond what you can see. Keep going. What you're building is eternal. Number 8, you will outgrow people, and it will hurt. Outgrowing people is one of the most painful parts of being chosen. The people you love the most, your friends, family, or even your closest confidants, might not be able to come with you as you rise. It's not because they're bad, and it's not because you're better than them. It's because where you're going requires a version of you they may not recognize or be ready to embrace. Growth changes everything, including relationships. You'll start to notice it slowly at first. Conversations that used to excite you begin to feel small. Shared goals become mismatched priorities. What once felt like a connection begins to feel like a weight, and it hurts. These are people you've laughed with, cried with, and built memories with. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to grow at the same pace or in the same direction as you. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. And here's the hardest part: letting go doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means accepting that their journey is different from yours. It means releasing them with grace, even when it feels like your heart is breaking. You can't carry everyone with you, no matter how much you want to. Elevation demands sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice is the relationships you thought would last forever. But know this, outgrowing people isn't a failure. It's a sign that you're stepping into your purpose. As you ascend, the air gets thinner, and not everyone is built for the altitude you're reaching. Letting go doesn't diminish the love or the memories. It simply makes room for the connections, opportunities, and people who are aligned with where you're going. It's not easy, but it's necessary for your growth. Keep climbing. Number 9. The bigger the vision, the louder the doubts. When you carry a vision that's bigger than anything the world has seen, doubt becomes your constant companion. People will look at you like you've lost your mind. They'll question your choices, mock your ideas, and label your ambition as unrealistic. Why? Because what you're building isn't visible to them. It doesn't exist in the physical world yet. It's spiritual. It lives inside of you, and only you can see it. This is what makes your journey so challenging. The world is conditioned to believe in what it can touch, see, or measure. But your vision? It doesn't follow those rules. It's bigger than the systems people are used to, bigger than the limits they've accepted for themselves. And because of that, they'll try to project their doubts onto you. But here's the thing. The loudest doubts don't always come from the outside. They come from within. You'll question yourself more than anyone else ever could. Am I crazy for trying this? What if I fail? Why does it feel so hard? That inner voice will whisper every fear imaginable, trying to convince you to abandon your vision before it even begins. Don't let it win. The fact that your vision feels impossible is proof of how important it is. You're creating something that's never been done before, and that kind of work is supposed to be hard. The doubt you face, both internal and external, is the friction of greatness. It's the resistance that proves you're moving in the right direction. Let them call you crazy. Let the doubts shout as loud as they want. Every step you take toward your vision silences them a little more. You're not here to fit in. You're here to build what no one else could even imagine. Keep going. Number 10. You'll face temptation that others don't. The temptations you face aren't random. They're carefully crafted to exploit the very strengths that make you a threat to the enemy. You might look at others and think, why don't they seem to struggle like I do? The truth is, they're not carrying the same weight or purpose that you are. You're marked for greatness, and because of that, the enemy won't waste time on people who don't pose a challenge. Your struggles are a direct result of the power you're capable of unleashing. Unlike the common temptations people face, yours will be deeply personal, designed to target your unique gifts and weaknesses. It won't just be an attack on your character, it will be an attack on your vision, your drive, and the very essence of your calling. For some, it might be a temptation to give up when it feels like everything is too much. For others, it could be an invitation to take shortcuts or compromise your integrity for temporary gain. Whatever it is, know this, it's tailor-made for you. But here's the truth about those temptations. They're not just obstacles, they're opportunities. Overcoming them doesn't just prove your strength, it's evidence of your divine resilience. Every time you resist, every time you choose the harder path over the easy one, you're proving that your purpose is stronger than any temptation trying to pull you off course. Don't be discouraged when these battles feel overwhelming. They're signs that you're on the right path. The more the enemy tries to trip you up, the more it confirms you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Your resilience in the face of these temptations is what will ultimately make you unstoppable. Keep standing firm. You're proving your worth with every fight. Number 11. Your victories will be quiet, but your impact will be loud. When you're chosen, you need to understand something critical. Your victories will often go unnoticed. Don't expect parades, celebrations, or applause when you triumph. The most significant wins you'll achieve won't be the ones that everyone sees. They'll happen in the quiet spaces, late nights working when no one's watching, the silent moments when you keep going despite the fear, or the times you make decisions that shift your course forever but have no audience. This can feel frustrating, especially when society rewards loud, visible achievements. But for the chosen, the real victories are often internal. They're the moments when you overcome doubt, break past your limitations, or stay true to your calling when everything inside you wants to quit. These wins don't always get recognition, but that doesn't diminish their power. They are the foundation of something much bigger, the impact you're going to have on the world. Your influence won't come from noise, from shouting your accomplishments from the rooftops or seeking attention. It will ripple through people's lives in ways you may never even see. It will be in the small, quiet moments when you inspire someone to keep going, when your words or actions shift the direction of someone's life, or when your strength in the face of adversity gives others permission to rise. Your true impact will live in the legacy you leave behind, through people's lives, decisions, and beliefs that were changed because you stayed the course. So don't wait for validation. Don't look for the world to clap for you when you win. Your impact is bigger than that. It's far-reaching, silent, and powerful. The world may not see it now, but trust that every victory you claim, no matter how quiet, will speak volumes in ways you'll never fully understand. Keep moving. Your impact is already happening. Number 12. Isolation is God's workshop. When you find yourself in seasons of isolation, it's easy to think you've been abandoned. The long, lonely nights, the prayers that seem to go unanswered, the silence that stretches on endlessly, it all feels like punishment, like God has forgotten about you. But that couldn't be further from the truth. These moments are not voids to be feared. They are divine workshops where God is shaping you into the person you need to become. Solitude isn't loneliness when you're chosen, it's preparation. It's during these quiet, often uncomfortable times that God is refining your character, sharpening your resilience, and equipping you for what's to come. The silence is not an absence. It's the presence of divine focus, where you're being molded in ways that would never be possible in the noise and distraction of the world. While others may be surrounded by praise, attention, or validation, you are in the quiet space where real transformation happens. You're being built, tested, and prepared for a purpose that requires you to be strong, grounded, and unwavering. What feels like isolation is actually a sacred space where God can teach you lessons that can only be learned in the silence. It's the perfect place for you to grow in faith, discover who you truly are, and develop the tools you need to fulfill your calling. It's tempting to resent these quiet moments, to wonder why they feel so heavy, but understand this: they are part of your divine development. Every lonely night, every unanswered prayer is God's way of getting you ready for the greatness He's about to bring into your life. Embrace the silence. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Number 13. You are fighting to unlock heaven's agenda on earth. When you face battles that seem too heavy to bear, remember this: your struggle is not just personal, it's cosmic. What you're up against isn't only about your survival, it's about fulfilling a divine mandate that reaches beyond your own life and into the destiny of humanity. God is using you as a vessel to bridge the gap between heaven and earth, and your fight is part of a larger sacred order that is designed to reshape the course of history. Every battle you face, every setback, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty is part of something much greater than yourself. You are fighting not just for victory, but to unlock heaven's agenda here on earth. There is a divine blueprint being revealed through your perseverance, and it's leading you to a place where the impossible becomes possible. Your resilience, your strength, and your willingness to keep going are all keys that will unlock shifts in the world around you. The fight is bigger than what you see. You are part of God's plan to bring transformation, to shift paradigms, to heal communities, and to stir up a revival that will echo through generations. The battles you win aren't just for your own growth. They are paving the way for others to walk in freedom, strength, and purpose. It may feel like a heavy load at times, but every ounce of energy you pour into this fight is moving you closer to the fulfillment of a divine order that will ripple across the earth. Your life is a part of something far greater than you can see, and your fight is the catalyst for change. Keep pressing forward. What you're fighting for isn't just your future, it's the future of all humanity. As you stand in the midst of your journey, remember this: Every challenge, every doubt, every struggle is not a random series of events. It is a part of a greater story that you are chosen to live out. You are not just fighting for your own victory. You are fighting for a legacy, a divine purpose, and a future that is being reshaped by your resilience. Your victories, though quiet, will ripple through generations. Your moments of isolation are where your true transformation is taking place. The battles you face aren't a sign of weakness, but of divine strength rising within you. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, an instrument of change and healing, and the world may not understand you. But that is because your calling is beyond their comprehension. Keep pushing forward even when it feels like the weight is too much. Embrace the doubts, because they confirm that your vision is powerful. Trust the silence, because it's where God is preparing you. And never forget, you are not in this fight alone. Your purpose is part of something cosmic, something greater than you can fully grasp. Your journey is unique, and your destiny is unfolding in a way that will leave a mark on this world. The road may be difficult, the nights may be long, and the temptations may come in waves. But remember, you were chosen for this. Keep moving, keep fighting, and keep believing. The world is waiting for the impact only you can make. And when you stand at the end of this journey, you'll see that everything you endured was worth it, because you helped shape a new reality, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. Your story is just beginning. Keep writing it. If this message resonated with you, if you felt the weight of your calling stir within you, then it's time to take the next step in this journey together. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community of warriors who are stepping into their divine purpose with courage, strength, and unwavering faith. By subscribing, you're not just gaining access to inspiration. You're joining a movement, a family that's committed to pushing past every obstacle and embracing the greatness that awaits. Don't let this moment pass you by. Hit that subscribe button and stay connected to the wisdom, motivation, and encouragement that will keep you moving forward no matter what. This is your time. The world is waiting for your light to shine, and together we're going to make sure that nothing stops you from fulfilling your purpose. Subscribe now, and let's walk this journey side by side. Your future is calling.